Hello, my name is Risha and today my team and I will be analysing the financial report of the Hourglass. I'll cover the content of the Hourglass primary activities, financial and social performance. Then Kelvin will divert your attention to the figures in the profit and loss and other comprehensive income. He will continue to discuss and compare the figures. Next, Malaysia will speak about the lease agreement that the Hourglass has entered as a lessee and discuss how the new accounting standard will impact the company. Last but not least, Summer will end the presentation by stating the property, plant, and equipment, its measurement whether it's cost or fair value, and explain which model between cost or revaluation is preferred to provide a true and fair representation of the company's asset. The Hourglass is a luxury watch retailer that has established its presence over 40 boutiques in 9 cities in Asia. It has its finest collection of 50 brands, and they strive to provide a top-notch service to sell watches. The financial performance has been doing exceptionally well for the financial year 2016 to 2017. According to the consolidated statement of cash flows for the year ended in 31st March 2017 and 2018, we can see an increase in cash flows for both the year of 2016 to 2017 and from 2017 to 2018, which indicates the company is generating a positive cash flow into the business. Next, moving on to the financial statement as at March 2017 and 2018, there's another good indication that both the asset value has increased, which shows the increased ability of the company to generate more revenue, followed by the decreased values in liabilities in both the financial year of 2017 and 2018 shows that the business is better managing its debts. Last but not least, the profits made from the year 2016 to 2017 has a slight decrease in profit, and profits will increase from the year 2017 to 2018. As a whole, we can say that the Hourglass financial performance is relatively good in terms of liquidation and the business stability. Moving on to the social performance, the Hourglass has made a 2 million donation to the community chest in the year of 2016. This donation was aimed to assist elderly from the social isolation and to improve the quality of life. This is one good way the Hourglass is able to build a good reputation to its company by increasing its goodwill to the company. On the other hand, there was no social performance found in the financial year of 2017 to 2018. With this, I'll pass on to the next speaker, Kelvin.
Thank you, Risha. And I'm Kelvin. I'll be presenting the comparison of the profit and loss statement and other comprehensive income statement between financial year 2018 and 2017, and further discuss the nature of difference occurred. As you can see on the screen, from profit and loss statement of the financial year 2018, there's a sales revenue made of 691 million, which is a 1% drop from last year. And also there's other income drop in under the revenue component, which contributed to a total drop in total revenue. But the net profit after tax was a 2% growth from last year, amount to 50.7 million. Next, in the other comprehensive income, we can see that there's a 20.6% drop from last year, amount to 43 million. And now I'll identify the major components make the differences. Next, from the annual report, you can see that there's other income amount to 3,000 was made in financial year 2018. And in the note 5, there's a loss made in a fair value loss on the investment properties. And the investment properties is defined as the properties held by the company for rentals, capital appreciation, or both, other than the cost of business. And the fair value is defined as the equivalent price of a future contract as if an active market is identified. And the fair value is reviewed by professionals annually in order to get an accurate value of the asset for the company. And for the fair value drop, there's a few reasons. First is the drop in future value, then the pessimistic business outlook, and the bad performance in the stock market. Next, and for the OCI part, we can see that the foreign currency translation made a loss of 7.8 million. And according to the paragraph 32 of ASD 121, we can see that it's stated the foreign exchange shall be recognized in the other comprehensive income. And furthermore, according to paragraph 48, the accumulated amount shall be reclassified from equity to profit and loss account when it's realized. Therefore, the loss made from foreign currency is recorded in the other comprehensive income. And lastly, I will be discussing whether those events are extraordinary or non-recurring. First, the fair value loss on investment properties. It is an extraordinary event because it's unusual, but it's in the usual course of business. But this largely depends on the external factors and power by the variation of other professionals. Second, the loss on foreign currency exchange, it is also extraordinary because the figure is surprising and fairly unpredictable, as the company have limited control over the exchange rate of Singapore dollar. And that's all for my part. Now I pass the time to Felicia.
Thank you, Kelvin. I'm Felicia and I'll be discussing about how the new lease accounting standard enforced in 2019 will affect the assets, liabilities, and profit of the Hourglass Limited. I'll be focusing on the lease agreements that the company has entered as a lessee. The key differences between the previous lease accounting standard AASB 17 and the new lease accounting standard AASB 16 are the definition of lease and the accounting treatment by lessees. I will now talk about the first point. Unlike AASB 17, AASB 16 defines a lease as a contract or part of a contract that conveys the right to use an asset for a period of time in exchange for consideration. There are 2 points to consider while determining if a contract has the right to control of the use of an asset. The first one is the right to obtain substantially all of the economic benefits from the use of the identified asset. This means that the control of the asset is dependent on the customer obtaining substantially all of the economic benefits throughout the period its use, including benefits obtained indirectly such as through subleases. The second one is the right to direct the use of the asset. This right arises either when the customer has the right to direct how and for what purpose the asset is used throughout the period of use, or when relevant decisions about the purpose of the asset and how it is used are predetermined in the contract. The customer should either have the right to operate the asset and direct others to operate the asset in a manner it determines, without the supplier having the right to change those operating instructions, or design the asset, regardless of the extent, in a way that predetermines how and for what purpose the asset will be used throughout the period of use. The adoption of AASB 16 will have significant impacts on the company's assets, liabilities, and profit. Firstly, the requirement of recognizing almost all off-balance sheet leases as a right-to-use asset will cause the lease assets of the company to increase. This will in turn lead to a rise in the company's total assets. Secondly, the requirement of recognizing a respective lease liability will cause the financial liabilities of the company to increase, which will in turn lead to a rise in the company's total liabilities. Lastly, the company's earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization will rise as operating costs included in operating expenses will be replaced by interest and depreciation expenses. As a result, this will cause the profit of the company to increase. So these are the effects of adopting AASB 16 on the assets, liabilities, and profits of the Hourglass Limited. Now, I'll pass on the time to the last speaker, Summer, who will be talking more about the property, plant, and equipment of the company.
Thank you, Malaysia. I am Summer and I'll be sharing on the property, plant, and equipment of the Hourglass. Items that are included in the property, plant, and equipment of the Hourglass are freehold premises, leasehold premises, furniture and equipment, and motor vehicles. Next, I will explain if these items are measured according to cost or fair value. All of the items of property, plant, and equipment of the Hourglass are initially recorded at cost. Subsequently to recognition, property, plant, and equipment are measured at cost less accumulated depreciation and accumulated impairment losses. Premises held on a 999-year lease are regarded as equivalent to freehold and are included within freehold premises under property, plant, and equipment. Freehold land has an unlimited useful life and therefore is not depreciated. Now, I will be sharing which model between cost or revaluation is to be preferred to provide a true and fair representation of the hourglass assets. The annual report is recorded in cost model, however, the revaluation model proves a true and fair value of the representation of the company assets. There are 4 reasons as to why. The first being, cost model measures at a cost incurred to acquire them, whereas revaluation model measures at a fair value. Secondly, revaluation model provides a more accurate picture worth of the business asset compared to the cost model. Thirdly, the cost model revaluation is carried out only once, whereas the revaluation models is carried out at regular intervals. Lastly, cost model is less costly method compared to revaluation, which is more costly to exercise at regular interval. In conclusion, overall, as shared by Kelvin and Risha, the hourglass is doing well financially. Belisha shared that the AASB 16 is necessary to boost the financial prospects of the company. And lastly, I shared that the revaluation model is a more accurate representation of the company assets. So here is our reference list. And this marks the end of our presentation. Thank you.